Good morning and welcome to SATYA Live. This is Reverend Dr. Ali Benjamin, and I am so blessed and grateful to be here today. I know that we're going to have a beautiful 30 minutes of connecting and feeling the love together. So welcome. This is SATYA Live, and we are all about inspiring minds, healing hearts, and transforming lives. And every Sunday we get together and have a little check-in, a spiritual tune-in, tune-up, and we get going with a meditation to begin with. So, if you will, get to a comfortable place. Maybe you want to sit down, or if you're busy doing something, maybe just take a moment and go inside. So closing the outer eyes and bringing all of your awareness to this beautiful moment. There's nowhere else to be and nothing else to do other than simply be here now. And as you settle in and arrive and give yourself permission to check into your higher self. Check into that place within you where you feel love's presence. And as you begin to arrive and settle and slow down, become receptive and open, trusting and knowing that there's something here for you today. Something to learn, to remember, and to put into practice in your life. Trust and know that whatever you receive today will support you on your path forward to greater expressions of joy, deeper fulfillment, enhanced relationships with others, but most importantly with yourself and with God. And so as you accept this gift, this remembering, let us dive in together and connect in love as we explore the language of love. Take another deep, cleansing, centering, and grounding breath. Exhale and become still and present and open and available. So glad that you're here today. So today my message is about the language of love. And learning the language of love is really our primal language. It's our innate language when we know who we truly are as unique, loving, differentiated expressions of the one life. Each of us are here, unique beings, here for 100 years or so, incarnated in this earth suit with this incredible brain that helps us navigate all of this physical terrain. But there's also something more to us than the physical body and the mind, the intellect. We have a spark within us, a soul print, an essence. And this is the language, the love language that I want to talk about today, the language of our soul, the language of love that the universe responds to. We live in a universe that is constantly interacting with us on an energetic level. And so through the law of attraction, we know that we have to be the thing that we're hoping to attract. So if we're hoping to attract more love, better relationships, more fun and joy in our world, we have to have the consciousness for that. We have to be that first. So we have to be love before we can truly see love out there in the world. And if you're not seeing love, it's probably because you've got the filter of the ego structure, the filter of a personality. So beyond the personality, the roles you play, the birth order you were born into, I'm the oldest child, wife, husband, son, daughter, mother, father, boss, worker, whatever it is you may fall under the label of, this structure, this personality structure, that is something very real to us, but there's a something even more real that we have to understand and identify with and ground ourselves into before we can actually experience deeper relationships, more joy. So we learn the language of our soul, the language of love, when we understand who we are as a child of the universe, as part of the whole. We're not isolated beings with this personality structure that's very familiar to us. We're that and more. And so as we ground in every day through prayer, meditation, contemplation, we start to be more mindful about who we are, and that who we are is the presence of love. There's only one love, and we all are part of it. And I believe that our very purpose and reason for being here on this planet is to bring forth God's love, to bring forth unconditional love, to be love's presence. Love heals, love reveals, love connects, love is a bridge. And when we occupy our true identity as love, then we naturally speak the language of love. Love is kind. Love is compassionate. Love is helpful. Love notices beauty. Love praises and gives compliments where we see them, to the things and the people and the places that we feel appreciative of. This is the language of love. And when we can maintain this inner dialogue of, I know who I am a unique expression of the universe, I am love in form. When we can truly ground into that and show up as often as we can, and it can be hard because there are many things that don't go the way our ego wishes they would. And so we can kind of topple off this remembering who we are, and we can fall into doubt and fear and confusion. We can get our feelings hurt. But when we're occupying that place of love, our feelings aren't hurt because love is accepting of what is. Love doesn't take things personally. Love just is. And it's ours to reveal that moment by moment in the fresh, new now. And so society doesn't talk about this primary love relationship that we have with the divine and with ourself as the microcosm of the macrocosm. The macrocosm is God, and we are made in the image and likeness, creative beings that use our minds and our bodies to create. And we create our relationships. We create our life by what we focus our attention, what we intend, and what we give our attention and our focus. Then it expands. So when we're coming from our true identity as a being of love, only love, then we're equipped with the language. And so it all starts with this, understanding who we are, and then deepening that relationship. And we do this every day, being mindful in our meditation, reading texts, poetry, participating in things that make us feel really good, we feel that co-creative energy that we are. We feel that we're this beautiful expression of love, and we see every opportunity that comes our way as another reason to give love a face, give love words, give love to everything and everyone that we experience. This doesn't mean we're going around hugging everyone or we're telling everyone we love them. It means that we're truly accepting, that we're listening, that we're present, because that's what we all want, isn't it? We want to be seen, we want to be heard, we want to know that we matter. And so when we show up as an individual that is channeling their energy, their time, their talent, their resources, their creativity into being a beneficial presence, being love's presence, we activate that loving field. And the language we speak isn't necessarily through the words we speak, but it's through the energy. It's through our vibration. It's through the energy of complete acceptance that we have for whomever and whatever is showing up in our lives. And so we identify with that loving presence. We show up as responding with love as often as we can. And we do our best to give voice to our love. We appreciate those around us and we tell them that we appreciate them. We support them. And when we're in this kind of relationship with ourselves, when we have deep self-love and appreciation, we then have a reservoir to be able to share it with others. And so as we are here to manifest love's presence, and we do, we know that everyone that comes into our field, our partners, the people we work with, our extended family, our new friends, all of these people, they show up in our lives as an opportunity for us to express ourselves in terms of our creative love energy, whatever that is. When we're present in the now moment, as we're engaged in this field of love with everyone we meet, we find a storehouse of creative ideas. We feel inspired. Why? Because we're present. And when we're present in the now moment, we have access to our intuition. We have access not just to our own mind, but the greater mind of infinite possibilities and potentialities that come to us when we're in this zone of our authentic, loving self. So how can we be the presence of love within our relationships? February is the month of love, and we just celebrated Valentine's Day. And so one way of really enhancing our relationships is to be patient. To be patient with those that we're in relationships with. Because when we're patient rather than impatient or frustrated or angry, it allows something else to happen. It allows connection to happen. When we continue to be patiently observing and present with those around us, it makes room for newness, for freshness, for aliveness. So try it. Being patient with our partners when we're angry, especially when we get triggered, when we are impatient. Just take a breath and remember, patience is a language that we can energetically communicate with our loved ones when we're feeling triggered. We just stop, we take a breath, we surrender to the one power of love, and we remember that love is patient, love is kind. Feelings, when we're in a relationship with, whether it's a partner or people at work or out and about, to share our feelings. People can't read our minds. And so when we share our genuine feelings, then people don't have to guess how we're feeling. Then people get to know us. Some of us are more introverted, and it may not even occur to us that our feelings and sharing our feelings is important, but it is. Sharing our feelings builds intimacy, builds connection. And so let your partner, let your friends know how you're feeling. And this might prompt them to share their feelings too. And what happens when two people are sharing how they feel? It deepens, it widens, it gives more room for love to breathe and love to grow. Another thing to do when we're in relationship is to inquire. Ask how you might be able to make someone's day more easy, if you can support them in some way. Inquire if they need help, or if there's anything you can do to make their experience better. Inquiring, asking questions, learning about each other. This is a beautiful way to bring freshness and aliveness into our relationships and deepen into being love's presence, because love is curious too. Staying curious about our loved ones and what they're up to and what plans they have and how their friendships at work and at school or whenever that you're not together with them. Being curious about their life in general and what their dreams are and what they plan to do in the future, and if you can plan and do things together. And so there's inquiry and curiosity that deepen and build bridges and connection within our relationships. Also, relationships, especially our closest relationships, require us to have boundaries. Creating boundaries protect a relationship. So knowing when to say no, when to say yes, when others that are maybe a part of your greater family or your greater circle of friends, they want something of you, or they have an invitation, or having firm boundaries as to when you're going to be exclusively with that person, your special person, your partner, and making sure you create time for that and not let other things take over that special time that you create with that special partner or that special group of people. And then also the love languages. Many of us have heard about the 5 love languages. It's so helpful to know what your love language is and what your partner's love language is. So it might be words of affirmation, saying thank you, and compliments and meaningful comments. Some people thrive hearing words of affirmations. Maybe you're one of them. So if you are someone that has the love language of words of affirmation, it's important to let your partner know that you really appreciate words of compliment and thank yous and meaningful comments. And when you let them know that you like that, they'll also know that when you're doing that to them, when you're giving them compliments, when you're making meaningful comments and saying thank you and appreciating the things that you've done together or the things they may have done to support you, that lets them know, oh, he or she is speaking their love language right now. I hear it. And so it can be this connection that you create with your partner, with your friends. They know when you're warming up to them, when you're being present, when you're being vulnerable, because you're giving and offering words of affirmation. Your love language may be gifts. And gifts are when we give tangible or intangible things that make people feel appreciated. And maybe you're one of these people that likes gifts, that likes to go on a special date, or likes to give a special something that you've seen, that you purchased, that you know that your loved one, your partner, really likes that. Maybe they collect angels or something, and you can see my angel here, and you buy them a little angel gift, and this would mean that you really see them, you know what's important to them, and you know what is special to them. So gifts can be another love language. And then there's acts of service, doing something helpful or kind. And if that's your love language, you're going to really appreciate it when someone folds your laundry, or someone does a task at work and when you get there, it's done and you don't have to do it. And so acts of service can be another love language. Quality time. This is mine. I love quality time with my partner, with my beloved Michael, without any distractions. Knowing that we're completely engaged and paying attention to one another, listening, being there, and doing activities that we both enjoy. And so this is really important to people that appreciate quality time, is really being seen and being heard and being acknowledged with no distractions, unless it's some fun activity, of course. And then the fifth love language is physical touch. And so if you or your partner love physical touch, it's important to acknowledge them with maybe a rub on the shoulder, a hug, or a back scratch, or intimacy of any sort. People that love intimate or physical touch are very, that light up at the smallest gesture, the smallest of touches. And so just be aware, as I've shared all of these with the words of affirmation, gifts, acts of service, quality time, physical touch, what's your love language? How can you cultivate this understanding within your relationships and bring more love and light into your experience? And so learning the language of love, knowing that you are the very presence of love, and love is evolving, love is always growing and expanding, love's never static. And so when we realize that, we then see that in our relationships too. We don't try and hold on to people and having this idea that people have to be exactly the same that they were. There's always a newness. There's always a growth that's occurring. We're always becoming more. And if we can understand this within our relationships, that love is fresh, love is new, love is always growing, love is always evolving, then we're supporters of our loved ones. Then we can show up celebrating them fully as they grow and stretch and change and develop, and we can become their biggest cheerleaders, because that's what we want when we're in a relationship. We want to have those people that are the closest to us cheer us on, support us, give us a helping hand up when we stumble. And we also want those around us that are speaking the language of love to be honest with us. We don't want someone just to be saying everything that we think we want them to say. We want them to be openly candid and have candor, tell us the truth, maybe when we've slipped up or gone unconscious or we're acting from a scared part of our personality. We want our partners to be able to say, hey, that doesn't feel so loving. And so we can be our greatest cheerleaders for one another. We can also practice loving candor, being honest, even when it's difficult. So I trust this has been helpful for you today, that you have felt that the love languages, all of these 5 love languages, these will help you in connecting with your family, with your friend, and understanding more deeply how you feel loved and how you can share love with others. But most importantly, understanding the language the universe reacts to, responds to, is the language of ease, of love, of acceptance, of unconditional love and acceptance that we give and we bring when we show up in any relationship, at any workplace, out and about in our lives. When we show up with our hearts open, being vulnerable, willing to share our feelings, willing to show appreciation to those around us, give compliments, words of affirmation, when we have a good sense of self-love and appreciation for ourselves, and when we show up with that level of self-esteem and self-worth and appreciation for those around us, we move in naturally to this heart place, this heart space. You're probably feeling it as I share these words, as I share these insights. You're feeling a warmth in your heart. And that warmth is a sign that you're occupying your essential self, your heart-centered self, your soul. And when you're in that space, it's like the namaste. The divinity in me honors and bows to the divinity in you. It's being in that heart place of honoring, of respect, that opens us up to the field of infinite possibilities. And we see that when we're in that place of love, the universe simply mirrors back to us things to affirm that love, to remind us of how loved we are, of how we're here to be the presence of love, and to bring forth all that we need to bring forth to support our loved ones in being and doing and having the very best experience in relationship. So I trust and know this has helped and supported you. And thank you for being here today. Let's do a little activation. If you will, close your eyes and become still and know that right where we are, God is. There is nowhere else to be other than right here and right now. And it's in this now moment that we open up to the depths and the breadth and the width of love. It is everywhere all at once. And we are on the very leading edge of love. We are forever becoming more in terms of love. And as we express ourselves and show up as the presence of love and respond to each interaction we encounter, each relationship, each question, each invitation, with loving awareness, loving presence, we simply bring more beauty into the world. And so I give thanks for this time together, for this prayer, this blessing, for this activation of love. And I trust and know that this ripples out and touches our friends and families and lifts us up into opening our eyes to see more love in the world wherever we go. It's up to us. And as we become it, we are it. We bring life and love alive. Thank you. See you next week.